Coming at you live, covering all things professional wrestling. A show by members of the Busted Open Nation. Welcome to the Nation's Corner. Here are your hosts, the Nation's Corner crew.
Yo, what's up, pro wrestling fans? Welcome to the Nation's Corner. I am Front Row, joined by Tony Justice, the greatest truck driver of all time, Debhausen, the great and powerful, and John in South Jersey. What is up, people?
What is going on in here?
What she said.
So I found out something super cool this week, and I'm hoping you're going to like it. I found out that if somebody gifts you an award, that you are actually the award winner now. If somebody gives you a gold medal, you're now a gold medalist. If somebody gives you a peace prize, you're now the owner of the peace prize. So I found out that I am now the NXT Women's Champion because I was gifted this title. So I'm now the champion.
There you go. Congratulations, champ. You deserve it. You deserve it.
Very exciting day. Very exciting day.
Maybe you'll defend it more than Jade Cargill has.
Oh,
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Anyway, super excited week. Man, there's just so much stuff. Every week we come on here, we're like, there's like 100 hours of wrestling to cover. But let's do our best. We'll do our level best. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like TNA grabbed the week. Like, I personally really love the debut on AMC. I thought they did a great job with a couple of minor things. And heading into tonight's pay-per-view, like, to me, it's just the most exciting thing going on this week. So probably start there.
Yeah.
I think they certainly captured the headlines. I think unfortunately not all of it was positive, but I think they have a big chance tonight to turn that perception around.
Yeah.
What was the negative? Because like I genuinely enjoyed, except for the Elegance brand segment, I liked the whole thing.
Right.
That was fun.
So I think the thing is, like I enjoyed the show for the most part. Overall, we all had fun watching. I really liked certain parts of it not so much. I think overall the general feeling though was that a lot of people expected like something bigger because it was hyped up as, their big AMC debut and it was really hyped up a lot. And I think people just expected more from it. And I think it's all about perception too, because I think we know that they got a lot of new viewers. We were hearing all week of a lot of people saying that they hadn't watched TNA in a long time or they never watched and they were going to tune in. And I think people that were tuning in for the first time expected a bigger show and expected like a bigger production level. Those of us who watch every week, we know what a TNA show looks like. So it wasn't like jarring to us, or there wasn't anything wrong with the production level. But I think a lot of people went into it expecting a lot more. And I personally was, a little bummed that there was only 3 matches on the card. Now, obviously, there was a lot of circumstances outside of their control. But on Tuesday, when they had posted the graphic with the whole card on it, the first thing I said, and I said it in our group text, the first thing I said was, oh man, I hope they add some more matches, because 3 matches, for me personally, is not what I want in a 2-hour show. They did a lot of good video packages and promos and stuff, and that's great. But personally, for me, I like more wrestling on my wrestling show.
Yeah. I think the first show on AMC was good. The AJ Styles starting it off, was amazing. The face that built the place, and I think what plagued TNA on Thursday was not it was like you said, out of TNA's control.
Yeah.
I think it was more along the lines of the commercial breaks with AMC having to take, because AMC is a scripted television channel, and they don't usually have live sports on their network. So I feel like that TNA and AMC can work through the little bugs that are there. You know, the commercial breaks, when they need to take them, how often, because I noticed some things, that were having, like, I was on commercial, I was watching it on Philo. I know a lot of y'all were watching it on the TNA Plus app, and it went down at the beginning, I think, because of the traffic. I think because of the traffic, and they weren't prepared for the traffic that was watching, which is a good sign that there were a lot of eyes on TNA on Thursday. So I think the thing that people are complaining about, I don't think it would be a long-term thing. I think they'll figure things out. I think tonight, like you said, tonight will be a chance to change the perception. And luckily, Thursday night was just the first of many nights on AMC. So I think I think everything will work itself out.
I hope so. Sorry, go ahead.
It was a good, they kept it moving for 2 hours, other than the Elegant Brand thing that just took a big old dump on everything.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did like they did, yes, they were light on matches. There was only 3 matches, but the matches were very good. They didn't seem rushed. They weren't just trying to get it in to have them on TV. But the in-between stuff was good. They did a couple like retrospective kind of history video packages of the different championships, the X Division championships, the TNA championships, and the people involved. And I thought they were very well done, because without having commentary or somebody actually saying it, it told a really good story of the past 20, 25 years of TNA. And you were able to quickly kind of digest that, oh, wow, there are and have been some big names associated with this promotion. Even if you didn't know anything about TNA prior to tuning in to AMC Thursday night, by the time that 2 hours was over, you had a pretty good idea of just what they were and what they are and what to expect.
Yeah. I think like along those lines, like the 3 matches we got were really good. Now I was watching on the TNA Plus app. But I saw a lot of people that were watching on AMC, the channel, and the AMC Plus app specifically. Supposedly, the AMC Plus app had a couple of extra commercials added in that weren't on the regular AMC broadcast. So a lot of people were saying that, like, the women's match in the middle, like, they barely saw any of the match. They basically saw entrances and then the finish. So I think, like Tony said, AMC's not, to my knowledge, they've never really delved into live programming. So, that's a first time. There's gonna be things that you see happening that, okay, well, for next time, then we got to fix this. So maybe, like, I'm not going to pretend to know how any of that stuff in television works, but maybe that's just a conversation that the TNA people need to have with the AMC people. And if they can just kind of plan where the commercial breaks are going to be placed, so we don't have a 7-minute long commercial break that takes up basically an entire match happening. So that's just, some things that'll need to be improved going forward.
And I think a lot of those in-between things, there was also geared to set up for, hey, we have a lot of new people watching. We have to bring people up to speed. We have to give them something to come back for. And if they did 2 hours of just matches, people go, yeah, all right, why do I care about next week? You have to give people some background.
Right.
Well, on the other hand, though, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. all the video packages they did showcasing the history of the TNA title and all that stuff, that was great. But, I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because you are right in that sense that they need to, introduce people to the TNA brand and the wrestlers on the roster and the history of the company. But at the same time, if you're a TNA viewer watching for the first time, you might go, well, that's it though. There was barely any wrestling. So, and that's the perception that I saw a lot, that people were like, I don't know if I'm going to tune into this next show if this is what the show is like.
Yeah, I agree. I think if they had taken that Elegance brand segment and made a match, put a match there, but left everything else in place, it probably would have been more balanced, I think.
Yeah,
Because that ate up some time.
it did.
It did, and I think unfortunately it kind of like killed the vibe.
Well,
They could have just cut out that whole segment.
they hit all the points that they needed to hit. They had big stars. You had AJ Styles making an appearance, opening the show. You had the Hardys in a 6-man match.
Yeah.
You know, you had 2 brand new talents to TNA.
Yeah.
Daria, formerly Sonya Deville, and Elena Black, formerly Cora Jade. And
Yes.
The Daria one I thought was excellent. That girl is a presence, and she absolutely came in and knocked it out of the park with her promo with Santino. Elena, yeah, it's like, oh, cool. She's wrestling again. All right.
I think maybe some people didn't know who she was, and then some people were just like, okay, like it wasn't for a lot of people. I think it wasn't that thing that made a holy shit moment. It was like, okay, this is cool. We'll see where it goes.
Right. Yeah. And TNA and seemingly, not to get too off topic for a second, but seemingly everybody is moving everywhere around wrestling right now. So we're definitely in this trend of, who's going here, who was there is now there, who is here, they're moving the treehouse. It's crazy. It's
over here
it's
now.
Utter madness. Yeah, they're over here now. Now we gotta go over here to see the treehouse. It was there, but now it's over here. Big Black and Jack might be showing up on Friday night or Monday night. It's again, it's madness, but it's the way this industry and the way this business is going right now. Everybody is.
So that's another thing. Like along those lines, I thought about that a lot this week. On Tuesday when TNA posted the card graphic, I noticed immediately that Leon Slater versus Myron Reed was no longer being advertised. It seemed like other people didn't notice because on Thursday on all the shows on Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, they were still talking about that match.
Yes.
I was like, no.
Well, apparently they don't pay attention to social media, because if you were,
they're
you would have
keeping us
known
on our
exactly.
toes.
You would have known exactly why that match was pulled.
Yeah. They're keeping us on our toes for sure. We gotta pay attention. We gotta pay attention to things. However, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we all hate social media in various ways, but sometimes you gotta pay attention to see what's going on.
Yeah. But it is a really, really crazy landscape right now. Like just in, we're 2 weeks into the year and already things are just kind of like, jumbled up. And we got roster movement all over the place. And so not only the Rascals, we got the little teaser graphic on Dynamite, which I'm very, very excited for. I popped huge because on Tuesday I was very sad when I saw it being reported that the Rascals were no longer with TNA after the Myron Reed and Leon Slater match got axed. So Wednesday, I was very happy to see that. And then immediately after Dynamite went off the air, it was being reported that Hobbs was no longer going to be with AEW, and it's believed that he's moving to WWE. I wish that wasn't reported, because that basically spoiled the results of what we're going to see on Collision tonight, because Collision was taped after Dynamite. So basically it being reported that Hobbs is leaving AEW, that completely gave away the fact that the Ops are going to be losing to Hangman and Jet Speed.
Well, Dirt Sheet's doing what Dirt Sheets do best.
Right.
Hey.
But the thing I thought of the other day is, sometimes like things like this, I wish it wasn't reported. And I know that a lot of people kind of, there's a demand for this information like that. But imagine if it wasn't reported that Hobbs was leaving AEW. Imagine if, now logistically it might have not been possible because SmackDown was in the UK and it was on a delay for those watching in the US. But imagine if we had no idea that Hobbs was leaving AEW. And then on Friday, he shows up on SmackDown and his match on Collision airs on Saturday. Like, imagine how freaking crazy that would have been if that happened.
Well, along those lines, Deb, we kind of almost sort of saw that last night on SmackDown. We had the Carmelo Hayes U.S. Championship Open Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and this is where my wrestling brain kicks in and say, okay, some of this was a work, but it was a genuine surprise.
Right.
Who comes out to challenge Carmelo last night? Oh, by the way, the TNA X Division champion, Leon Slater. And then, of course, the story comes out that, oh, well, we've had travel issues with visas, and that was one of the reasons why the match between Leon and Myron Reed was pulled. But the truth now is out that he's on WWE and SmackDown overseas in Europe, and they're in London. He's from the London area of England originally, so he's basically wrestling in a hometown crowd on a WWE show overseas. So, yeah, I'll give him the pass that he could miss his TNA show.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I think it's exciting because we don't know. When people in the wrestling business want to keep a secret, they totally can. We saw it with the John Cena tournament, the Last Time Is Now tournament. We saw it with Nick Nemeth and Matt Cardona, and especially even Matt Cardona returning as a full-time roster member. That was a genuine surprise. Like, I didn't see that reported anywhere.
Right.
No.
And not only does it come out as like it comes out with the Zack Ryder and and then oh no, it's Matt Cardona, and he tells us, not us, he tells the fans on the radio the other day, he's like, yeah, I just whatever name they wanted to use, and they're like, no, we think we should keep all the work that you put into this brand. We're going to keep Matt Cardona. He's like, okay, let's get some merch out.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green, this is just a little detail that I thought was really, really funny. So Cardona posted a fun little video on social media the other day. Him and Chelsea were walking through a mall, it looked like. And she was wearing this like fur coat, and he said that she looked like the lady from Ghostbusters that was wearing the fur coat, and it like touched the pink slime. And the next thing you know, she comes out in gear with pink slime on it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
How
Chelsea's
fun is
great.
that?
Yes,
That is super fun.
Right?
Well, all this TNA stuff leads into tonight to Genesis. I don't want to go through the whole card.
Yeah, we're going to a concert, right? Genesis is performing.
Yes.
Is that what it's in the air tonight or something?
Look at the tickets.
Right? Or am I wrong? Did I read that wrong?
You may have. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Ask Chad.
Who knows?
That's Chad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm sure they'll fill me in on it, but
There's a bunch of cool stuff on here though. Like it's JDC is having his retirement match tonight against Eddie Edwards. That's quietly, not quite as big a deal as John Cena, but still a big deal to people who are fans of his.
Dude, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I don't like this.
all in
I
her
don't like
feelings.
this at all.
she's gonna be missing her dirty dango. Who's she gonna get weird with?
Yeah.
I'm also feeling some sort of way. I was definitely a Fandango fan. And then Tony, we get to see him in person at the NWA tapings and stuff, and really nice guys. Just it's gonna be emotional for sure. The Knockouts title match, which is really cool, Lei Yingli versus Zarya. This was really, really cool reveal on Thursday night. I think it was a nice surprise to have Zaruka come out and set up that match. So it brings more star power, a little bit more star power, because Zarya is one of the bigger stars in NXT right now. Obviously, her and Zaruka doing a lot of stuff, but of course, it's the main title match is the one that everybody's looking forward to, right?
Yeah.
So Mike Santana defending his newly minted world title against Frankie Kazarian. Of course, Nick Nemeth is still out there with his call your shot thing. So
And
it
he's the
could be
special
very
guest referee.
right, for sure. And it's a Texas death match, so who knows?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a super fun show. Is there anything you guys are specifically looking forward to?
The world championship match for sure. I'm interested to see what happens, especially with Nick. Personally, I'm really hoping that they slow play Nick cashing in. We've been on this ride with Santana for quite a long time now. And, I keep going back to that moment at Slammiversary when there was that just organic groundswell fan support for Santana. And I think to an extent, some of that has been lost. Yes, he won on Thursday, but it almost felt like instead of a like jumping up out of my seat, oh my God, my guy won. It was just kind of like, phew, okay, good. That's, and I think the groundswell was just kind of lost a little bit. So because of that, I would really like to see them keep the title on Santana for a while and build that up more to a point before Nick cashes in. I don't want to see Nick cash in right away,
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
I'm looking forward to the world title match and the shenanigans because it's a Texas death match. There's going to be shenanigans. We've got the wanted referee. So yeah, I think that's going to be a good match, and seeing what they do. Like Deb said, I want to see a slow burn with the cash in from Nick too. Because I want to see, it's kind of whenever Mike Santana lost the title to Frankie, I couldn't be mad at that because, we're on this ride with Mike, but Frankie was so deserving of being a world champion for the first time. And I thought that him carrying that title, I thought he elevated it when he had it for the short time that he did. He carried that title he, put the shine on the title when he had it. Frankie has got a lot of charisma, and I couldn't be mad at Frankie being the champion. But Nick Nemeth having the title too does the same thing even more because it's Nick. So I want to see Mike have a good reign with the title, but I don't mind Nick being the champion either. So it's kind of a double-edged sword to me.
Yeah.
Well, I will agree with both of you. There's no reason to play hot potato with the title right now,
right?
Especially coming off of the AMC premiere. It's definitely something that it can carry forward into television after tonight, no matter how it goes, and continue it. Continue the story along. I'm very interested to see if we get some sort of Kazarian Nemeth kind of feud thing going after this. Say for some reason, it's something controversial or some shenanigans, and in turns, you now have Nick Nemeth squaring off with Frankie Kazarian, saying, well, you had your shot, or Kazarian saying, well, you're not getting yours, Nick, because I'm going to make sure you don't get a chance to cash in. I'm going to be there every time you go to cash in that opportunity and stop you. So it could make very interesting story going forward. The other, and I don't know if they just announced it, but I just saw it before we went live here. They have a 4-way match for the international title, the TNA international title, which is currently held by Stax from NXT, who is the real life soon-to-be son-in-law of Santino Marella and has created an excellent father-daughter kind of feud and controversy between Santino and Ariana Grace. Obviously, real life father and daughter. And I love it because I have a real life father and daughter sometimes contentious relationship. She's a pain in my ass, but I love her dearly. And I'm very interested. And as I've been watching this go along, now she's never quite kicked me in the jibby, theoretically, as Ariana has. She's come close a few times, but I love that dynamic. And I don't think it's a story, and they're giving parts of it, but they're not really buying into it yet. And it's slowly been developing, and I'm very curious to see how this continues because I'm very entertained, and obviously I'm a little biased, and it's something that strikes very close to me, but I think it's a very interesting dynamic between the two that we're used to feuds. I hate you, you don't like me, blah blah blah. But this is again that blurring of the lines, real life and wrestling. They are, this is a true family feud. And I always love them because there is that certain aspect of realism to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and so I guess I looked earlier. I don't think it's been announced, but there's still the fourth members to be announced for that match, right?
Right.
So we're all assuming it's going to be Santino.
Could they?
Right? Wouldn't that make sense?
I think Santino said in the promo that it was somebody with roots in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what he said. They were discussing it on Busted Open this morning.
Okay.
I feel like that's what he said. A lot of people in the comments were thinking JBL just because they mentioned Texas, but I'm not. I don't know.
That doesn't fit.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, cool.
Steve Austin then.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be fun. It's going to be super fun. A lot of stuff happened in WWE. I just want to hit a couple of things because I know we have like more pressing things to cover. I am liking the peppering in of things like Leon Slater, Javon Evans, this style, these guys coming in and doing stuff. I think CM Punk and Finn Balor, I wouldn't on paper think that it was going to be interesting, but their promo was really good. And leading into their matchup this week in Northern Ireland, Belfast, is going to be super cool. Some of the bigger stories over there, I really, really like. Deb, you talked about surprises. They started off the year by putting the title on Drew McIntyre, and man, he's in Europe. He's doing all these big things, and he's a super like over baby face. But boy, did he turn the crowd last night.
Boy.
Really good about and he keeps telling his truth. He's not lying. He's not this like smarmy heel. He's like, no, you guys abandoned me when I left the company. Screw you.
Yeah.
Like I was the only one that believed in me. And there's some truth that's the character would say, right? So
yep.
I just love the way that he let everybody cheer and get it all out of their system. And then he's like, fuck you. I hate all you people.
I hate you all.
I just think there's so much room that they have in front of them with Drew as champion.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And Cody telling the crowd, you guys were bored of me. He said exactly what the internet was saying, the Cody fatigue. He's like, I did the same thing every week. That got old, and I made a mistake, and I lost, and now I have to figure something else out. So what's that character development going to be like this year? Yeah.
I like it. Sometimes you got to shake things up. Like, wrestling fans tend to get bored with, the same stuff happening all the time. Got to shake it up sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It keeps everybody guessing and keeps us all interested and tuned in because you're right. It's very easy to become, the same old thing. Yeah, I'm going to watch, but I'm not going to see any surprises. But, oh, wait. Oh, no. We have surprises. And the fact that most of us are kind of the same, that we do watch a lot of wrestling. We're very in tune to the different shows and the stories and what they're doing. And sometimes we can even be considered, I hate the term, but smart marks, figuring, we know how this is going to end. We know how this is going to work out. But, every once in a while, no. They get a swerve or a zinger, and it's across all promotions, all shows. It's not just one company constantly So it makes it all very interesting and compels you to have to tune in. And as Sam said, watch the product.
Yeah, I also think it's important to note that right now, leading into as we've just started 2026, in my opinion, the big three companies, WWE, AEW, and TNA, have very strong women's divisions. Specifically, the growth in the AEW women's division in 2025, the additional time, the additional storyline. I said it on the last show that I was on that I thought that they had probably one of the best years in the company from a storytelling perspective. They're really positioned well for this year. And to see all the cool stuff that's going on, we're going to talk about Collision, or we're going to talk about AEW in a minute. But seeing the addition of the NXT people come up, we're seeing Jordan Grace, we're seeing like all these great people on the main roster. The NXT women's division has been on fire for like a decade or more, right? And now just to see all the three big companies having a television products that strongly feature female athletes. And as your current NXT Women's Champion, I can say this.
Right. Yes. Yes, you can.
It's exciting.
You're on
that's
top
not
of
just you saying
arguably
it.
I'm having something here on my phone. Bleacher Report is reporting that yes, you are at the top of one of the strongest women's divisions in all of pro wrestling, and to stay tuned because things are going to get interesting. That's it. That's cool. That's from Bleacher Report.
I'm totally getting my ass kicked tonight.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, so okay. Let's talk about AEW then. So I actually earlier this afternoon I rewatched some parts from Dynamite because usually like we're sitting down watching wrestling, I'm on Zoom, I'm drinking, I'm having a good time. Sometimes my 100% of my attention is not on the TV screen. I miss things that are said on commentary and all that, so I wanted to rewatch a few things. The MJF Bandito match was freaking insane.
Really
That one that was Bishop's match of the week this week on yesterday's Busted Open. That was Denise's, it was her Yeet of the week, I think, on Busted Open this morning. That match was killer. And one thing I noticed, Seth and I were talking about this the other day, that MJF is really, really good working with luchadors. I don't know if it's just, the styles make a fight, whatever, but he is really good with the luchadors. And Bandito has been such a star this past year. John, we were talking the other day, you had said that, Bandito has been pretty over in every company he's been in the past.
Right.
I've only become familiar with him more recently in his time in AEW. But when he was out on injury and when they had all the teasers leading up to his return, and then he did the angle with Jericho, that sent him on this trajectory in AEW, leading to teaming up with Brody, forming Brodito, becoming the tag champs, and now having a match against the world champion MJF. And then after the match, MJF said, a lot of people said you were going to be world champion and I didn't believe them, but wrestling you tonight, you're going to be a world champion someday.
Yeah.
And then he proceeded to kick him while he's down.
He did the NJA thing. It did the MJF that we all know and love, but still, but yeah,
great match. And Bandito is just a star.
Absolutely. Always, in my eyes, always has been. And I go back to his very early Ring of Honor days, an original Ring of Honor, watching him. And I'm like, and Ring of Honor always did a very good job of, much like ECW in the past, bringing especially the luchadors and bringing different styles into, their wrestling. And Bandito was always a top performer that you didn't know a whole lot about him. But if you saw one of his matches, you're like, I have to see this guy again. this guy is great, and able to work with anybody and make it a fantastic match. It's a very nice validation for him, especially from the current AEW champion MJF. Heel tactics and shit aside, but that was a genuine sentiment that he said, and that goes a long way, especially with the AEW fans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also, speaking of MJF, someone in the comments mentioned the Limitless show that was on last night. I saw a whole lot of posts about it across my social media. I saw the video clip that was posted. What MJF said after his match against Alec Price. That made me extremely happy. Alec Price and Jordan Oliver are now All Elite. I am so happy for that. And MJF, a similar situation to kind of his little promo with Bandito is, he put the guy over and said how amazing he is as a talent, told them that they're being offered AEW contracts, and then proceeds to heel them out like MJF.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Very interesting. Right. That match was announced a few weeks ago. You got and I implore you to look back on, I believe it was posted on Twitter. That's why I saw it, from Alec Price, made a very impassioned promo about having the opportunity to wrestle and fight for the AEW championship against MJF. And it was a very very basic shot on an iPhone shoot promo, but and it's not that long, but man, it made a statement. And I am so happy for those guys. Unfortunately, that means we're going to have new GCW tag team champions somewhere along the line, but these things happen. But Jordan Oliver is a guy that is basically grew up and cut his teeth around this area, and seeing him literally everywhere. He would wrestle and train at the now defunct Monster Factory, which is basically over my right shoulder here. Watching him grow up from there, and all the indies and the GCW shows that he's worked around this area. And same with Alec Price. This guy, he is whoever, and it sounds kind of cliche, but whoever came up with Buster in the Brain is an absolute genius, because Jordan Oliver is super smart in the ring. He has excellent psychology, and Alec Price is absolutely fucking insane. That there is nothing that kid won't do or try or even try again to get a match over and perform at his very best. They are absolutely perfect together, and I hope they make a lot of big noise in AEW, because they both definitely deserve it.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed about AEW with a bunch of their recent signings is they're not going for the big, huge former WWE stars. They seem to be shifting towards young, promising talent. And, even the Rascals, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but Myron Reed is the only one who wasn't in NXT, right? The other three were in NXT. So they were in NXT and they had a good stint there, but they're not exactly like household names, like, top main event star in the main roster, So AEW seems to be kind of really handpicking these lesser known names that they can really help grow and help develop. And I think that's really, really important for their brand going forward.
Yeah, to your point, someone in the chat said, they're going after TNA. I think that's part of TNA's place in the industry, right? It's a good stepping stone in between the independents and one of the big two companies. Like,
right.
It's a great place to go and get TV experience and work with some veterans and some newer people. And to me, it's like that middle school area where you're like, okay,
Yep.
I don't think necessarily. I don't think AEW is just saying, "Oh, we want TNA people." It's just when people are ready to move up to the next level, whoever becomes available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you can't fault them if TNA let them go.
Right.
Right.
Fine, we'll scoop them up. Hell yeah.
I look at it this way. If you look at the people behind the creative and that really run the shows at TNA, it makes perfect sense. Because TNA has always been kind of that smaller feeder system for the bigger companies. And AEW, I mean, WWE has NXT. They have Evolve. They have even LFG now. So the feeder system is always, the next new star is something you're always going to be familiar with, especially anything with WWE. Right. AEW doesn't have that. And it's always been, to me, kind of been a stigmatism against them because they don't have a place. They don't have a PC. They don't have an NXT. I mean, they tried to do it somewhat for Ring of Honor, but not quite that.
And they still allow most of their talent to do the indies. So, they're not sitting on their ass for 6 days of the week.
Exactly. But the thing to this is absolutely AEW is looking at TNA talent. Why? Because you have that learning curve. If you're dealing especially with indie talent that is not used to working television wrestling and not used to, doing segments and doing matches in a certain time, that thing, where do you go? Do you try to just bring them along and throw them to the wolves and learn on the job? But then again, here's TNA, like Front Row said. You have someone that has television experience, that has wrestling in front of a camera. And now you're actually strengthening your product with a new star, but you're not starting from ground zero, which is something that AEW has been doing since the inception. But now they have that ability to look around and see this talent out in other promotions in other areas. And they're basically TV ready. They're ready to go right onto their programming that day.
Yeah, and I just want to add too, like, I've worked in the wrestling business. Companies aren't surprised when somebody leaves the company. They don't just show up and say, "Oh, somebody left," unless they quit. But if somebody's contract is on its way to being to expiring, they've had conversations, they've had negotiations, they've determined whether this person's going to stay or go, whether there's interest in keeping them. This shit doesn't happen on a Thursday. I mean, this narrative that the company was surprised that someone's contract ran out, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no,
they knew.
Yeah, pretty sure they knew.
And to John's point, this is the beauty of it, right? So now you get the great announcement of the Rascals going to AEW for this specific thing, and then you've got Leon Slater surprising everybody on SmackDown. So everybody won. Like everybody gets surprised and everybody won. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Stop pretending to know more than you know.
Right, exactly. And it's to me, it's all good because it's better for the wrestlers when they get to have more experience at different workplaces. Just like any other job, a lot of people, especially in the professional world, move company to company because that allows you to learn from different people, pad your resume with lots of experience from different places. Sure. Similar in wrestling, someone can get the chance to work in Japan, get the chance to work at WWE, get the chance to work at AEW, get the chance to work at TNA. And they're learning from so many different types of people along the way. And that's only better for everyone. And
sometimes it's not a good fit. I mean, you look at someone like Swerve. Swerve was doing okay in NXT, but man, what a massive star he is in AEW.
Yeah.
Right? Marina Shafir never did anything interesting in WWE. But since becoming, partnering up with Moxley and all the stuff that she's done with the Death Riders, she's a way bigger star today than she would have been if she had just floundered over there.
Yeah.
It's Tony just Storm. Tony Storm. What's a good fit?
Yeah.
Or reverse Mariah May to NXT.
Well, Mariah May was also, and she was in the biggest storyline in all of wrestling. So it's the difficult argument to say that, it wasn't a good fit for her, but she, certainly made the jump and is finding, other success as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also do think back to like AEW and their new signings. Like I said, they're being choosy and they're picking people that are going to kind of fit in with the AEW culture, like the format of the show, the style of the wrestling. They are really picking people that fit in, and it's worked for them. Last year we saw a bunch of additions that worked perfectly, and everything is going great so far.
Deb, I have to step in real quick. This really popped me. I don't think Tony Khan's leaving AEW in a year or two. I think you meant Tony Storm.
Doesn't he own the company? Like he pays.
Who's to say? I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I read it in Sports Illustrated, so.
I read it in ProWrestlingNet.com.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as they ain't the Wrestling Observer.
Yeah, they've had a rough week over there. Oof. Especially if you're reading O'Shea Jackson's Twitter.
Yes.
Oh my God, O'Shea kills me. He's great.
Yeah, he loves to stir that pot.
He does. But
So tonight it says we're gonna hear from FTR, right? The current tag team champions.
Yes.
What are we hoping to see tonight?
I'm not really sure.
It's to me, it's kind of a little bit of a muddy men's tag team picture right now in AEW. Yes, FTR are the champs and all that, but I mean, of course, cards subject to change, but there's only a 2 or 3 tag teams that I could legitimately say, okay, if they announce the match versus FTR for the championship, okay, that makes sense. Jet Speed is one. I'd love to see Brody and Bandito get a rematch for the titles against them. Yes. I'd love to see the Hurt Business. I'd love to see Shelton and Bobby go against them.
And now we have Davis and Doyle in the picture.
Right. And and what's his name?
Something.
Thank you. But yes, and talk about new additions. There was 2 weeks ago, we watched Jake Something wrestle on TNA television, and here he is now, a part of the Don Callis family. He's teamed up with Mark Davis, formerly of the United Empire, United Empire, with Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
So there's now they're absolutely thrust into the men's tag team scene. And
but that's because TNA didn't pay attention to the contract running out for Jake Something. They just they screwed up. It's on them.
They came to work and did the whole John Travolta on Pulp Fiction.
Yes. Ooh, gone. What do you mean gone? Yeah, don't know. Gone.
But by the way, let's okay, guys, let's talk about this.
Yes, we know Collision was taped on Wednesday.
Wrestling shows are taped every week. TNA tapes their shows. This week, WWE was internationally, so they aired earlier in the day. So we typically get together and watch it at night because a lot of us have jobs and shit. So,
And it hasn't aired yet. I will find out what happens when it airs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm when I say I'm looking forward to seeing it, it's because I didn't read anything about it. I went out of my way to avoid spoilers.
I don't want to know what happens until I watch the show.
Don't care.
It was really funny this week because they made such a huge point about that on the Broski breakdown. And then Matt Cardona. But I'm thinking in my brain, I'm like, dude, I remember Mark Cardona going on social media and spoiling his NWA win. And then he talked about it. He's like, yeah, I did do exactly that. Like,
I watch the shows and I find out what happens on the shows. I don't spoil it for myself. And I watch Collision every single week. I'm gonna watch it as soon as it comes on. I'm gonna dual screen with TNA. So I'm gonna have AEW Collision on my TV, and I'm gonna pop TNA on my computer screen here, just split screen with you guys on Zoom.
Right.
But it's also a matter of being respectful.
Most of us in our group watch multiple shows. Like on any given night, there's someone watching probably 2 or 3 shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like a respect thing. Like,
Hi, I'm some people.
like, I'm pretty sure Stranger Things wasn't a live show. I'm pretty sure it was recorded. So, but like when it dropped, we were all saying, okay, who's seen it? Who hasn't seen it? Okay, Tony didn't say it yet, so we won't talk about it yet. We'll wait another day or two. Like, okay, has everybody seen it? And then then you talk about it. It's like,
we didn't discuss our thoughts on the show until everybody in the group had watched it.
Yeah. But meanwhile, if you're on social media and you're live tweeting an event that's airing, all bets are off. Like it's on TV.
Yeah.
So,
right. Yeah.
Live sports are different, right? Speaking of which, we got a lot of football to watch this weekend.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
Playoffs. Before we wrap it up, I did want to mention GCW show tonight, Code of the Streets. Happening in Dallas at Gillies. So
Gillies.
Yeah, that place.
Urban Cowboy?
Yeah.
Yes. Same place.
What?
Yes.
That's where they do all their shows in Texas.
A-town.
Yeah.
A-list town for GCW.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be one hell of a show. We have Jordan Oliver versus Teriyaki. We have Shotzi Blackheart versus Emerson Jane. That's going to be great. Effie versus KJ Orso. That's going to be insane.
Isn't Megan Bain working double duty?
Yes.
Megan Bain versus Priscilla Kelly. Yeah. And then she will be on Collision as well.
How is she going to do that? That's amazing. I'm super impressed.
Well, when you're a Greek goddess, you can make those things happen.
She's got those Rick Rude, Lex Luger vibes.
And interesting
for the GCW Ultraviolet Championship, Matt Tremont versus Otis Kogar. And then for the GCW World Championship, Atticus Kogar versus one called Manders. That's going to be one hell of a show.
Yeah.
And
anytime Gringo Loco was on my screen, I'm very happy.
Yes, and you will see him tonight. And I know we talk about it all the time, but folks, if you're not on board with GCW, you're wrong, and you need to fix it quickly.
Yeah.
Sign up for Triller Plus, pay the money, see their shows. They
worth it.
It's well worth it, and they're legitimately. This is quote unquote an indie, legitimately telling stories. Why? Because they run pay-per-views almost every weekend and multiple days. They'll run Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They're coming out now. They're getting all their announcements out for the collective and the match cards for the collective coming up in Vegas in April. And again, it's the best value in wrestling to be watching and seeing GCW.
The collective is where it's at. I remember last year I tried to watch as much of it as I possibly could, and then still after the weekend was over, I was still like, oh man, there's like 2 shows that I didn't get a chance to see that I got to catch up on. And
this
it's
year
just
is even more.
Yeah, even more this year. And it's going to be amazing.
I know they've been. A lot of people have been putting out a lot of things about next year, not coming up this year, but next year when Mania goes to Saudi, what they're going to do. And we already have WrestleCon and the collective are going to be together in Vegas on Mania weekend. And that's going to be absolutely insane. I don't care what happens in Saudi. I don't.
Yep.
I do care what happens in Vegas that particular weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And I will be going to GCW in 2 weeks in Philly at the lovely Harrah's.
Yes. We'll be back
Seth
in the corner by the racetrack.
Yep. Seth and I will be there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Are you going, John?
You're welcome. No, I am not going. I have previous plans with my daughter, and that's the reason why I said, well, I can't go. So Deb and Seth get to go. So
sweet.
I sponsored them 2 tickets to go. So just so we can keep the Nation's Corner on location going strong in the new year.
And Nation's Corner will be represented very well.
We had Nation's Corner on location yesterday.
Yes,
Yes.
we did.
Yeah, I was getting loaded in Reading, Pennsylvania yesterday, and good old Debhausen just lives 30 miles away from Reading. So she came and waited with me while I was waiting to get loaded because there was a slow guy in there getting loaded and it's taking forever. And as soon as I backed my truck into the dock, me and her went and grabbed a quick bite to eat and came back. She dropped me back off at the place, and when I got back, I was loaded. So there we go.
It was
There you
nice.
go.
And it was
awesome.
great. This is the
It
first
all
time that I got to see her since April of 24 when we were all in Philly for
Yes.
WrestleMania week.
Well, that's
Yeah,
And
we
that's-
haven't seen each other in person in almost 2 years. How about
That is
that?
entirely too long.
It's
entirely too long.
Way too long.
For
Where
any-
you
Agreed.
It
been?
was
Where the hell you been?
yeah.
Hey,
Live
man.
under a
It
rock?
was
Yep.
it was well timed because it was my day off. So seeing that you were not very far away in Reading, I was like, yeah, I'll get in the car. I'll take the drive.
Yeah.
It took me about 40 minutes to get there. It wasn't too bad. You know,
Yep.
really straight down one road.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. It was fun.
Yep. Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys.
Pre-show's
Let's
about
talk
to start.
socials. We got 2 minutes to pre-shows and then a bunch of pay-per-views and shit tonight. A lot going on.
A lot.
A lot.
Um,
All right, Tony,
Big
where
old
can
man
people find you?
You can find me at Tony Justice AJFA, and if you're a Metallica fan, like I know all of us are, you know what that means. Ooh, and to clear something up real quick, Gillies in Dallas is not the same Gillies that was used in Urban Cowboy. That was in Pasadena, Texas, and that place burnt to the ground. It's the same name, but it's not the same venue. Just clearing things up. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And well, I won't say nobody
Appreciate that.
cares. Obviously, you do, but
John, how about you?
I am John of South Jersey, just like it says down here somewhere. On the Twitter and Instagram, and also on Instagram, you can keep up with this. Of course, I am talking about the most dangerous weapon in all of professional wrestling, the Ass Kicker 9000, also known as AK9K. And you keep up with all of his exploits on AK Ass Kicker 9K on the Instagram. And a quick shout out, big anniversary for me and many folks this year, this past week. 3 years ago, we lost Jamin Pugh, otherwise known as Jay Briscoe, one half of the baddest tag team on the planet, the 13-time Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, and two-time Ring of Honor World Champion, Jay Briscoe. Rest in peace, Jamin. Keep watching over us. I miss you. I miss our talks. I miss our times when we run into each other. And keep looking down on us. And take care of Mark. He is your little brother, and he needs it. So,
Yeah.
other than that, that's it.
Very good. Deb?
I am at That's So Debonair on the Twitter machine, the Instagram, the Blue Sky, all of them. Click the link.
That's where
in
the hippies
bio.
are.
Yes, that's where us hippies are. We love it. Yeah, click the link in the bio if you're curious, and that's about it.
Click the link.
Nice. And I am PW Front Row on all the socials. You can find us at Nation's Corner across some of our socials and The Nation's Corner everywhere else. I'd like to announce that I'm retiring tonight. This is my last night as champion. So I will relinquish my title undefeated and
Undefeated.
with no matches.
Yes.
With no matches. And defeated. Fully defeated and undefeated. All right, guys. Y'all go have a fun weekend. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks for joining us.